Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be pretty slow because it's actually very hard to um, kind of give a brief description of everything and then pivot to reverse engineering. But anyways, I just want to get more into processes a little more. So credit where this is due. This is from the Windows Internals book, the Part 1 version. It's by Pavel Yosifovich, Alex Ionescu, I'm not sure how to pronounce these last names, Mark E. Rusinovich, and David A. Solomon. This diagram is from that book. I read that book actually a week ago, but anyways. So each process has a access token, and the threads within that process can also have their own security context, which is stored in an object called an access token. So that's the threads. Each process also has a handle table. If your process is making, if it has a handle to certain objects or certain files, for instance, kernel objects, whatever they may be, your handle table stores that, and your process also has its own VADs, or virtual address descriptors, which essentially are data structures that are used by the memory manager to just keep track of the virtual address that your process is using, right? Um, and just a little more into threads. Threads actually do share the address space of their process, so they are able to read and write to that memory address. However, they're unable to go outside of those bounds, so they cannot reference or they cannot read or write another process's memory. Obviously, that would be a pretty big contradiction security-wise. Um, but but in Windows specifically, in most user mode situations, especially if you're an administrator, even you'll have the right to open a process, and you'll be able to actually read and write memory from that process. So if you want to do process injection or maybe perhaps some form of DLL injection that's live, you'll actually be able to do that most of the time, although it's kind of pointless and not needed. But there are certain situations where you would need to do process injection. This is in the context of malware writing, so I'm just gonna stop talking about that. But anyways, um, some processes can also make available a part of their private address. So, but usually kernel system files don't allow this. Maybe a user file allows this for some reason, and you're actually able to read and write memory into that process. So this is the only time you'll actually be able to use threads to reference another um, process's objects or memory space.